What Bill said is exactly the perfect transition to Charlie, which is immersing yourself in the community that you live in and giving of yourself to it to make it better. In my years in Westport, there are very few people that have risen to that level of giving back to the community. And Charlie is that person, and that's why he's sitting here. Now, I told Charlie he was going to be the first Citizens Award somewhere, I think, in, I guess it was December of 2019. It's like, Charlie, we're going to run this thing in June, and you're going to be the awardee this year. And well, we know what happened in early 2020, 2021. And I called up Charlie, like, not this year. 2022, right about that time, there was another wave. Charlie, not this year. This year, we got it. You're here. Charlie's got two worlds, of course. Well, actually, he's got three: business, community, family. And all three of these are real strong in his heart, totally. And I've known that for years in working with Charlie. He started off with Chase Manhattan Bank, back when it was Chase Manhattan Bank. I'm not really sure what happened to the Manhattan part. Maybe they should have kept it. It's now a different name. It's just Chase, Morgan Chase. The Manhattan part was good because it was a part of the city. But he wasn't even in the city. He was down in Brazil, where he, for 5 years, was working on their global equities and expanding his knowledge on how to do these things, and made a pretty good, living of it and learning about this, and then came back to the United States fully fluent in Portuguese, and kept doing this. It's debatable. It's debatable. So then he bounced around from a number of different banks, still furthering what he was doing, furthering his knowledge, but always working for other folks. And I think that he basically came to the conclusion that, I can work for these other guys, but I know what I'm doing already, and maybe it's time to set up my own shop. But where am I going to set up this own shop? And somehow he lands in Westport, Connecticut. Thankfully, you landed in Westport, Connecticut. And he set up Castlekeep, where he is still the CEO of the business. But who did he bring along? Two of his sons that are sitting right here, Chuck and Steve, running a family great business. I know because they run the Chamber of Commerce's money. They take care of it for us and make sure that we're protected from the ups and downs of what's going along, because as a nonprofit organization, we can't afford to lose too much money. So they protect it for us to make sure that we can survive and keep going. And thank you very much. Thank you also for your support. Anytime that I need something, I just go to Charlie and I said, hey, this is what we're doing. You guys want to back it? And they back it. They make sure that the Chamber of Commerce still keeps going. And that's just the first part of what they do. Thank you, Charlie. But Charlie was on the RTM. I'm on the RTM now, a whole bunch of people in this room in the RTM. Then he went to the Board of Finance and worked on the Board of Finance. And then he ran for selectman and became the third selectman. Well, he actually was running as second selectman and jumped up. No, you're shaking your head. Did I miss this?
I replaced Gavin Anderson.
That's what it was. Anyway, he became a selectman and worked as a selectman. But that wasn't enough. He's on the Parks and Rec Commission for huge amount of years, 8 years, which is enough for anybody to 8 years to be in the Parks and Rec Commission, taking care of our parks, making sure it's good. And there are other members of the Parks and Rec Commission here, I say Ed Iannone sitting over there, who also spent many years on it, and thank you for your service as well. But still, that's not enough. He's also on the Levitt Pavilion Committee. So the town monitors what's going on and helps them survive, and that's one of the keystone pieces of the town as well. It's Westport Library. Interesting enough, they share the same parking lot, and on Saturday night, both of them had events. There was a concert in the library, and there was a concert at the Levitt Pavilion. And you know what? There was no problem at all. Plenty of parking, and everybody had a great time that night. And then, bunch of us went over to Walrus Alley afterwards and had a band over there and had some drinks and what a hell of a time on a Saturday night. But I digress. Charlie's commitment to our community, as I said, there's hardly anybody who's risen above it. But one thing I have to mention is, in all of their doing, Charlie and his whole family were thrown a curveball along the way, and that's with Patty's diagnosis with ALS. What this family did, and it comes from both your mom and your dad, to embrace this and say, you know what, we're going to change the face of ALS in this country. They have changed it. They've raised money. They've brought Major League Baseball into it to promote it, to make sure that people know what this disease is, raise money for this disease. And we all hope that Patty's feeling good tonight and that she does, keeps going for as long as she can. And that's because of the love that this family gives. And as far as I'm concerned, you all are first citizens, not just Charlie, for the stuff that you've done for this community and for ALS. So I think you're a good man, Charlie. It comes from the heart. It really does. And as I said, it's come down to your family, and it shows in everything that they do as well. Comes from the heart, comes from the family, comes from what you indoctrinated them as they were growing up. And I'm not sure there's anything more I can say about why you were a first citizen. The time and effort that you've put into this community is tremendous. And your business acumen is wonderful, and I think that's about it. I'm out of words, Charlie. Wow. So why don't you come? Me out of words. Charlie, come on.
Okay.
Is it his name?
It's Charlie.
Did it fit on you?